Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Christine and now I'm going to teach you lesson 2 on learning how to crochet, which is all about how to hold your hook and how to hold your yarn to make for the right tension. So I've already started a sample here with this category 4 worsted weight yarn. I've made a chain. I'm using a 6mm hook for this, and there are two ways you can hold your hook. So I typically hold my hook like this, like a knife. I've put my thumb on this thumb press here, and I kind of twist my wrist like this. That's how I hold my hook. The other way that you can hold your hook is like a pencil. You can still put your thumb on that little thumb spot there, but you can hold your hook like a pencil and go down into the stitch. So this really comes down to what is more comfortable for you and the way that you're used to already moving. So it's really, you're just going to have to try both ways. If you want to try it my way, this is how I do it, like a knife. And on the other side, let me just get a little bit of yarn here. So when you're holding the yarn, you have to get tension. That means you have to have some kind of a pull here. Not too tight, because you don't want your stitches to be too tight, but not too loose either, because you don't want your stitches to be all full of holes and loose. So something people tend to do is trap the yarn between their pinky and the next finger there. You could lay it over the top, and then you just kind of release it as you need more to feed through. So I kind of just make a fist here, drape it over the top, and then, you got your hook over here. You can twist your wrist here. You can twist your wrist here to get some movement in what you're doing. So I'm actually going to pull this out and start from nothing. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a slip knot to start. So if you haven't done this before, you're going to wrap the yarn around your finger 2 times. This is the easiest way that I know how to do it. I usually hold that yarn there with those 2 fingers, wrap the yarn around my index finger 2 times, then I have my thumb and my middle finger I can pinch this with if I want. So that's how I do it. Wrap it around 2 times. I'm going to pull this back loop in front of this other loop, like that. And then we're going to pull that back loop off, and it's going to trap that yarn there in a slip knot. And then you can just pull. So there's my slip knot. And it's called a slip knot because it slips. See? You can move it. Okay, good. So I'm going to put my hook into my knot, pull it up like that so it's on the hook. I'm going to hold my yarn like this. Feel free to try it like this, like a pencil if you want. I'm going to hold my hook like this. And now over here, the way that I hold my yarn actually is I put it over my index finger, under those 2 fingers, and then I trap it in my pinky. So by doing this, I have control over how much yarn I'm being fed, and I can kind of get my tension right there. There's many ways to do it. Some people drape it over the top instead. Some people wrap the yarn around many times their finger. And some people have like a ring that they wear on this finger to help them. You just have to find a way that you can hold the yarn that will allow you to control how much yarn you're getting at a time. So this way I kind of make a little small fist, and I can kind of just like release as needed. So once you see, okay, you're holding your hook, you're holding your yarn, you've got the tension here. You don't want it loose like that. That's not good. You want to get it to where you have a little bit of tension right here. And then you have all these fingers down here that are like not doing anything. So I use those fingers to grab the tail, not too tight because you don't want to strangle this knot onto your hook neck here. I just kind of keep it in place. And then to make a stitch, chain stitch, the very beginning stitch that you ever need to know in crochet is a chain stitch. You're going to want to try to grab this yarn and bring it through this hook. Bring it through this loop on the hook that you already have from your Slipknot. So the way you do that is first you have your hook facing up like this. You're going to lay the yarn on top. So that's a yarn over because we're going over the hook. You trap it in the hook and then you twist it down, locks it into place, and you pull it through, and there, you've done a chain. Okay, and for most projects, you're going to have to chain up a certain amount of stitches. So if you were doing a dishcloth, maybe you'd do 29, 35, something. If you're doing a scarf, maybe you do like 40, I don't know, blanket, 100. So, I mean, you're going to have to get good at chaining, and that's the first thing that you need to know how to do. So I did a chain. Now I'm going to do another chain. I'm just going to make sure I have a little bit of tension. Make sure I'm holding my work down here. You can move your hands. Don't feel like you can't move. Like, you know, you can move your hands. Put the yarn on top of the hook, catch it, trap it, twist the hook down, locking it into place, and bring it through there. Yarn over, trap the yarn, twist down. And you see, I'm giving myself some space right here to pull it through. See, I have control over how big this hole is, right? If it's too small, then I'm going to have trouble, right? So you don't want that to be too small, but you also don't want it to be too big because you want to have nice even stitches. So that's the challenge at first, is to work on your tension, how tight you stitch, and to work on your consistency, which is trying to make the stitches, you know, about the same size as often as you can. So, but at the first, you don't have to worry about that at the beginning. The only thing you got to worry about is getting that yarn through that hole and learning how to do your chain stitch. So, put the yarn on top, trap it, twist it under, and pull through. Put the yarn on top, trap it, twist it, pull it through. Okay, and I'm just going to do a few so you can see how it gets after a while. And if you need to just sit there for 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long it takes for you to figure out how to do these chain stitches and how to hold your yarn, how to hold your hook before you learn any other stitches, I think that's going to be really helpful for you. It's going to give you a feel of how the yarn is supposed to pull through and how it is supposed to feel to move these two hands. It's almost like a dance, you know, like I grab this and I go there, and I grab this and I go there, and then it kind of flows after a while. You get a muscle memory to it. It's really nice to not think about what you're doing. It can be very therapeutic. Okay, so there you've just got to go now and practice how to hold your hook, practice how to hold your yarn, and do some chains. And once you are comfortable with doing chain stitches, then we can move on to learning the basic stitches of crochet that you'll use for any project. And it's like 3 stitches. So if you can learn 3 stitches, you can do anything. You could do dishcloths, you can do cowls, you can do blankets, you can do scarves, you can make hats and everything. And it's wonderful. So practice and then come back for lesson 3. Thank you.